Hello everyone, and thanks once again for joining me at Vedic Astrology for your weekly reading, Tarot and Patra, aligned and inclusive. This week we are dealing with September 23rd to the 29th. Join me on this journey for a brighter day with Vedic Astrology to guide you over the sea of life. At zdamostrology.com, I ask that you subscribe, you sign up, you share, so that we can spread the word and share the knowledge. This is where you will get your chakras, your crystals, your tarots, your patra reading. Join me on this journey. Feedback from my videos indicated that persons who are new to Vedic astrology were not too aware of some of the terms or the words being used in my video, and one of the term was nakshatra. And this is just an explanation for you in that the division of the sky, when you look at the constellations, we are aware that there are 12 signs starting from Aries to Pisces. So Aries, we go around and we get all 12 signs, which are the Rasi or the zodiac sign. In Vedic astrology, we also look at the moon, where we have the Janma Nakshatra or the Janma star. These 12 signs are further divided where nakshatras are posited. And a nakshatra is basically a star. It's 27 nakshatras that illuminate the sky and are placed based on their rasi or degrees. And these are all from the Sanskrit texts of long ago, where the sages and the rishis, they looked at the sky and made these deductions and calculations, so that it is there for us now to use based on the interpretation and the analysis of these texts. And with the 12 rasis or zodiac sign, they are divided into nakshatras. And because the nakshatras are further divided into padas, you will find that you have a cross. So that, like here, Simha, which is Leo, you will find Magha Nakshatra with 4 padas. You will find Purva Palguni with 4 padas, but then there's only 8. The 9th pada will be in this nakshatra, Uttara Palguni, so that you see that it crosses into another area, so that in 9 padas is 3 nakshatras. And basically these are all the zodiac signs, that they will be 3 nakshatras or part thereof, as we say, because sometimes you'll find 3 padas, 2 padas, 1 pada of the 3rd nakshatra in a rasi. So that this is where we have the crossover, and that crossover will give us the details that we use in Vedic astrology. So basically you have the zodiac sign, you have the nakshatra, and then you have the pada being divided in the sky. And in Vedic astrology, we kind of depend more on the moon nakshatra rather than the sun, because the moon nakshatra is the lunar constellations, is the lunar mansion as we call it. So based on a person's moon nakshatra at the time of birth, Jyotish offers a more powerful predictive technique. Right? And remember, the sun only moves once a month, so that for the whole month of May or part of the month of May, you would find that if you were born in that month, you would be a Gemini. But some people will be a Taurus, because the sun would have crossed mid-month and not at the beginning or the end of the month for that May month. So that you have changes like basically every month for the sun. But remember, the moon moves every 2.5 days. So that this is why, the birth chart and the kundali and your rising sign or your rising moon will be different in Vedic astrology. So I hope this clears up a little, confusion or understanding, and just give me feedback on it so that I can continue to make more details available to you so that you can understand why Vedic astrology was chosen for Patra and tarot readings on this channel. Okay, now that we have an understanding of the terms or terminology or some of them in Vedic astrology, let's look at the transit of grahas for the week beginning September 23rd. And here on this chart, the purple markings here would show the nakshatra. This is the nakshatras that are in the signs where the grahas are posited. So Saturn is in Shravana Nakshatra, Pluto is in Uttara, Ashada, and so on. And what we see here is that we hardly, as I've said previously, there's hardly any changes on a week-to-week basis for the transit of the planets, except for Mars, Sun, and Mercury and Venus, and they move on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, so that you don't have too much movements, because the planets that are there for the longest while will remain there, as I've said. So that we have Sun, Mars, and the ascendant in Virgo, which is the same as last week, and Mars is still combust, so that your activity and your passion for movement or completing things may be a little, on the downside. Continuing with that, you may not have energy or you don't want to do anything. That is what combustion is, in that the sun with all its heat takes away your energy, it drains you. The ascendant is there also, and as we see, the ascendant and sun are actually sitting one on another. The ascendant is 8 degrees, the sun is 7 degrees, so that you find you yourself may not be the energetic go-to or gung-ho person you want to be, or you may have tasks that you want to complete but you keep procrastinating and putting it off. You also have the aura lagna here, and the aura lagna gives you an idea of how you are going to deal with finances or what may influence your finances. And the aura lagna here is sitting directly on the ascendant, so that 8-degree aura lagna with the ascendant, it may tell you that you are what is important. You are the important factor in how you deal with your finances and how you gain finances or lose finances. So you might be overspending, or you might be banking your assets and monetary values, and you are not purchasing the things that you require to live and to learn. And finances in this time of the pandemic, I mean, you really have to look at what you're doing, so that take that into consideration, that you may be overthinking it one way or the other, so that take a further look at your finances and how you are dealing with it, and what you are purchasing and what you are not purchasing. And that is there. We have Venus and Mercury in Libra, and Venus again will continue to be comfortable here, and we have the Aruda Lagna in Libra here with Venus. And the Aruda Lagna is how people view you, how you are viewed by others, how you project yourself to them, so that at the end of the day you may have a balanced view of yourself, or others may have a balanced view of you. And Mercury is here at 1 Libra, and Venus is at 21 Libra. And Venus for this week is the Atma Karaka, so that these desires of the soul is to have that luxury and that pleasure time and that karma, Purushata energies coming through for you for this week. And you can do that through hard work and pay, because Saturn is the amatya karaka, and that is how you get your soul desires, through the amatya karaka. So you are probably dreaming and thinking, all right, it's time for me to relax and for me to do things that I enjoy, but it still requires hard work. And that's the pinch that we have here for this week. So that you need to look at your finances. You need to take a second look or a deeper look at your finances for this week, and as to the pleasures, how you are going about it, and what it is you really want from life. In terms, do you want a balanced life by balancing the pleasures and the uses of your finances, or do you just want to blow it in all one go and say, let me take that risk? What is it for you? And again, it all depends on which bhava, Libra and Virgo are for you. Which is the bhava? Is it your second bhava of money, your sixth bhava of work, your 10th bhava of career? Is it your fourth bhava of home, your third bhava of courage or siblings? Which is it for you? Where are you spending the money? What are you thinking about? Who do you want to take on these pleasure trips? It all depends. These two houses here depends on your kundali and what Virgo and Libra zodiac signs are for you in your kundali. Okay, we've gone through the transit of the grahas. Now let us look at the tarot selection for this week beginning September 23rd. And just a little note, Mercury is for Gautama in Libra this week from the 23rd to the 29th. Mercury is in Chitra Pada 3, which is a Gautama Nakshatra Pada. And a little blessings, a little clarity may come in with that. And our first card with the wisdom card, the chakra wisdom, is gossip. And gossip is aligned to the heart chakra. And so is it that we have in our heart to gossip, or gossip about others, or is it that others have us in their heart? Is that good or bad? Are they going to talk about us, or is that gossip going to bring about some kind of good communication for us? Because Mercury is there. He's all about communication, telecommunications, correspondence, anything in dealing with networking, community. So we will see if gossip and Mercury is aligned and how they are aligned. The 12th bhava is the bhava that we are focusing on. Probably the gossip is about us losing something, or being isolated from something, because that is what the 12th house is, losses, expenditure, isolation. What will be the gossip about, and how is that energy going to affect us? Well, it's going to affect us emotionally, because water is the energy and the element here. So that the element surrounding gossip and the 12th house is water, and that speaks to cups. All the cards of cups and or emotions, and how it's flowing or it's not flowing. Is it stagnant? Is that why there is gossip? Probably the planet may give us a clue as to how that gossip and 12th house and water is going to flow for us. Let us see the graha, or the planet. Oh my goodness, interesting. Neptune is the lord of the sea, the lord of the ocean. Plenty more water, plenty more emotion. But when you think about the ocean, you think about the depths where it's hidden, you can't see something. So that some secrets or gossip may be behind your back, or it may be in secret, or it might come through, because water, when it flows, water can go through anything. Water finds a pathway to do anything and go anywhere. So that gossip could spread, that gossip could come out, or it could remain hidden. Let us understand what the deity is going to bring to us, and how that deity is going to help us with the energies, with this gossip, with this water, with this hidden depths, with this loss. That is what we're seeing for this week, and probably it's a good loss. Don't get panicked here. It might be a good loss. And the deity here is Subhadra Devi, the bestower of devotion. So the deity is giving us her devotion, and as I recall, she's also a remover of illusion, so that what is not clear for us may become clear for us and many others. And again, it depends on the house that Neptune, or the 12th house, where your 12th house lie. Is it Virgo? Is it Libra? Is it what it is? What is it? again, the 12th house could be any of the 12 zodiac signs. So which is it for you? And where will be your emotions? Oh, the cards kind of scattering here for me. But let's move on. And I think I will just use a 9 card spread this week, as I said, and I always say I hate to be bored, I hate routine, so I like to change up things a little bit. I like to, move around things a little bit, not always do the same thing in the same way. And 8 of Cups just jumped out of me there in an upright position, so I'll just put that aside. And we had 8 of Cups last week, didn't we? So some theme is continuing as to what we have that we don't know we have, that we are not seeing, where we have turned our backs on our foundation probably. And the 8 of Cups again is emotion, all about emotions, so wow. The first card here for this 9 card spread is the 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands. The next card is the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles and 5 of Wands. The third card is the 6 of Wands. So we have the King of Pentacles between 2 wands. So what action about finances are we going to take? Then we have the 2 of Wands, continuing with action on finances. Then the King of Swords, where anything can move either which way. Then we have the 3 of Cups, emotions, celebrations again. End of something, loss of something probably. Then we have the Artist. Now that's an extra card from this deck, so I'll put it aside to talk about. And we have another extra card, the Well. And those are 2 extra cards in this deck that, I use. So we'll speak about that. The next card is the 10 of Cups in the 9 card spread. So that's the 7th card. The 8th card is the 9 of Swords. And the final card, the 9th card, is the 7 of Cups. So we have a proliferation of Wands and Cups here, action and emotion. So is action going to bring about emotion, or is emotion going to bring about action? And what does the Artist, the Well, and the 8 of Cups have to do with this spread? So let's find out. So we move on to the first row of the 9 card spread, and there we had the 5 of Wands, King of Pentacles, and the 6 of Wands. And the 5 of Wands usually represent a gain or a loss, based on your action, which you can see you can either gain friends or lose friends. The King of Pentacles is all about resources, capitalism, your worth. A mature person giving you good advice, supporting you. The 6 of Wands is all about business and a journey, a trip. So where are you going? So where are you going where you might gain or lose resources? And this is what this first row is telling us. And if we look at it in a different way, we can see that our past, which is the 5 of Wands, we had gains and losses based on our networking, based on the 12th house, where people were either our friends or enemies. So this might bring in the 12th house here, we losing friends. Or is it a good loss that they were fighting us and not supporting us? The present is the King of Pentacles, where we are now matured, we have the wisdom, we have the resources, we will get the rewards. And the future is where we taking those rewards and going on a trip. The 6 of Wands, we're taking that and we have victory, a victory lap on our horse. We have the leaves there on our hand, on the wands, and on our head, and that was the crown of victory and glory in the olden days. So we can look at this first row in that respect and learn from it. And a further look into the 5 of Wands tells us that in the past, we had challenges, we had conflicts, there was unruly behavior from us or from others. We didn't have time to think because we were always confrontational or at odds with ourselves and others. The Sun is the graha of this card, and that was illuminating our behavior. But was it illuminating it in a good way or a bad way? Were we aggressive in a good way, or were we aggressive in a very bad way? How is that for us? And it was a fixed behavior, that we rose to the challenge, but we rose to the challenges with impatience. And Wands and Pentacles in this first row is fire and earth. And fire and earth has a neutral relationship, a neutral alignment, because the earth can out the fire or put out the fire, but the fire can also scorch the earth, so that, you know, it works both ways. None comes out on top. And this is what the Five of Wands is telling you, that the behaviors from the past, the challenges from the past, if we continue in that way, we will not come out on top. We will still have those challenges in our present, but probably this challenge, because of the King of Pentacles, this challenge was a reward for us, and that we acted in a particular way. So, you know, the lesson here might be, the past is gone, leave it in the past. We have earned our rewards from the past that we are now enjoying in the present. So leave the past in the past. The King of Pentacles reflects the Graha Mercury, and remember, Mercury is Vargotama this week, so probably the advice and support that will be coming to us will be a blessing, so that in the present, some mature individual, you know, man likely, more than likely, will come to you with some traditional and reliable advice that will bring you stability and strength. You know, he has the authority, he has the wisdom and the intellect. He has conquered all that is in the past to be the King of Pentacles. So that it is also, the zodiac sign is Virgo, which is mutable earth. And Virgo, remember, has Sun, Ascendant, and Mars. And while Mars was still combust in that they couldn't take action, you had the aura lagna sitting on the ascendant, where your finances was concerned. And the King of Pentacles is all about resources. So somebody is going to bring some good advice to you that will bring you more success, more money, more courage, and stability. See the light by this traditional advice that is going to be given to you this week, and utilize it to your success and to your rewards. The Six of Wands tells us that our future holds a fixed action, a fixed fire. You know, our creative consciousness will bring us the azurite, or the stone of heaven. The sun is the graha of the card, and the sun illuminates our victory. We are here doing the victory lap with the laurel leaves on our head and our wand and our sword. We are taking that victory lap. We are taking that victory lap into the future. Success is there for us. We will receive the recognition and the triumph and the acknowledgements that we seek, the accolades that we want to acquire, the applause. You know, it will be shared far and wide, because this journey could be close or it could be long. So again, you know, Five of Wands, King of Pentacles, Six of Wands in the first row really gives us a good outcome for the future. And smile for this week. Our strength, weakness, and advice from the universe comes in the vise of Two of Wands, King of Swords, and Three of Cups. And this is action, air, which is any which way flexible, and cups, which is emotions. So these are the weakness, strength, and advice that we are going to look at in more detail. The weakness that we have this week is it's recorded in the Two of Wands, and it's either to stay or go. As we say here in the Caribbean, we titivain. You know, we don't want to go, but we don't want to stay either. The world is in front of us. Everything is there for us to conquer. Everything is there for us to travel over. We have the power, the ambition. We have the aspirations. We just don't want to take that step. Here the man is there holding the swords in his hand. He has already conquered his enemies. Mars is there, Graha, and Mars doesn't have any too much action this week, because remember, Mars is combust in Virgo, with Sun right there sitting with him and the ascendant. But we have already taken the action, so we don't need to take so much action already. We have already taken the action. The cardinal fire has brought us from Aries to Virgo, so that from Aries to Virgo we have done all that we had to do to now stand in this power position, in this position of authority. And you know, we may make the decision that will take us suddenly away from home, that will take us to a better thing, that we may take that ship and sail across that sea. But we are still in two minds. We are still saying, should I go? Should I stay? Should I leave? Should I build? Should I break down? What is the decision that we really holding back on? The world is there for you to conquer. You have done the hard work. Make the decision. The choices are there for you. The King of Swords in the strength position tells us that the choices we make will bring us to this position. But we have the intellect, because the King of Swords is all about air. Air is all about Mercury. It's value, so that the intellect, the communication, the choices that we made have brought the King of Swords as our strength. And fire and air, fire is wands and swords is air. The elemental dignity here is dignified. So fire can spread wider with air supporting it, or the air, depending on its strength, could blow out the fire. So there is a good relationship here. It's a dignified relationship. So that at the end of the day, are we going to use our intellect that we have and make that balanced judgment that will take us on the journey with the Six of Wands? What is the choice that we are making, or are we too weak to make that choice? The Two of Wands is telling us that we just, we looking at it and we are afraid to take this step, but the King of Swords tell us we know what we have to do. We know what we have to do because we have been through the fire and we have now come into the air. The sword is there balancing us to give us that strength. Utilize it. The advice in this second row is telling us that we need to celebrate, we need to socialize. And we had a Three of Cups last week, and probably we didn't listen to it, we didn't understand that celebration is there, it's routine. It's no longer something wishy-washy or in the future. We can celebrate because celebration is there for us. We have done the work, the teamwork, we have gone through the fire, we have time to make friends, we grew, we had competition. Some things were terminated or they had to be terminated. The 12th house is there saying that some things are still to be lost, some things are still to happen to us in terms of isolation, in terms of expenditure. We can celebrate, but don't over celebrate. We can socialize, but keep it small. The pandemic is telling us that too. Keep it small. Don't have a big reunion. Don't have a big festivity or a party. Keep your celebrations small. There are 3 people here. Keep it, at a level that will not give you any disasters or any negative role in the future. Be a friend to yourself. Celebrate, but celebrate quietly. This is the advice because the moon is here as the graha of this card. The element is water, jhala. And remember, we had the element being pulled as water. So this Three of Cups is telling you that let it flow, but let it flow in a meaningful and quiet way. Don't throw a bucket on somebody. Let the water flow as it's supposed to flow, but in a quiet way. Don't turn your taps all to the top. Don't give that gush. Control it. Celebrate it, but in a controlled way. The Ten of Cups, the Nine of Swords, and the Seven of Cups are the clarifying card for the past, present, and future in this 9-card spread. And let us just understand where we are with these clarifications. The Ten of Cups tells us that we are celebrating family and blessings, and we have gratitude and appreciation because we have found peace, harmony, and serenity from our past actions. Because remember, this first row coming through for us has the Five of Wands, the Two of Wands, and this Ten of Cups gives that first clarity for our actions, because wands and rods are actions, and Mars, as we said, is now in a combustion state in Virgo, but Mars was not in a combustion state from Aries to Virgo, so that previously our actions have now brought us or will bring to us our children, our destiny, our fate, long-term relationships. We think about our family, so we are celebrating. The Ten of Cups is our emotions of celebration, of domestic bliss, of warmth, of fun, You know, Jupiter gave us the wisdom. We had the emotions under control. We used the emotional mutable water in Pisces with that wisdom to make the decision and make the choices. These chakra here, the sacral chakra, told us that, you know, we have the credibility, the passion to deal with our emotions and all the actions that we had to take. So this Ten of Cups just guided us, or is clarifying for us that the actions we took in the past is why we can celebrate right now. The Nine of Swords is the second clarifying card in the row, and I'm looking at the second row vertically, not horizontally. So that the Ten of Cups is a vertical clarification, not a horizontal, which is why I said the Five of Wands and Two of Wands. So that in this Nine of Swords row, we have the King of Pentacles and the King of Swords. And usually two kings, when we have two kings, we talk about good support. You know, we talk about business partnerships, good advice. So the Nine of Swords is telling us, you know, again, we are disappointing ourselves. Nobody is disappointing us because we have the resources and we have the advice and we just don't want to make that decision. We are sitting there feeling sorry for ourselves. And again, as we say, it have a saying here, "Pour me one," you know, that you are just being the victim rather than the aggressor. You are being the victim, and probably Mars has a lot to do with that this week, since that, you know, you're feeling lethargic and that you can't move and you can't do anything. But take yourself out of that. You know, take yourself out of that, because you are doing yourself this disservice. No one is doing it to you. You are putting yourself mentally overwhelmed by all the gossip, because Mercury is there and the gossip is flying through the air and people are saying this and that about you or to you, and you are making that give you the worries and the burdens and the conflict where you can't cope. You know, you are at your wits end. The gossip is flying through the communication. And look at it, understand the cards are telling you, hey, make a balance. Mercury is in Libra, you know, justice, balance. The scales have to be balanced. Sift out the gossip from the emotions that you are feeling and understand the true meaning of the messages that are coming to you in the present. And the Seven of Cups in the final row for the future tells you that, you know, you have to continue that soul search and take a look at yourself. Dig deep internally, emotionally, and find out exactly, you know, where that meditation, use that meditation, in fact, use your imagination. You have multiple choice options. Your emotional needs are there, but you have the Six of Wands and the Three of Cups. The Six of Wands tells you that it's a journey. You are taking travels. You are on that victory lap. The Three of Cups is celebration. So your Seven of Cups tells you, you know, take that step, that use the crystal, the gold tiger's eye, the shapeshifter, and shift out or sift out the gossip that is flowing into your life from Neptune under the sea, from the water element. They may come up to you on the clouds, or they may just dissipate when the sun takes them and makes them disappear, because sun, when, you know, sun could dissolve the water, it can make it disappear. So that, you know, integrate your wisdom, your intellect, your resources, so that you can understand after self-examination that you have everything in the future for you to celebrate, for you to make that trip, for you to make that change, for transformation to happen. And you know, when transformation happens, you have to lose something. So the 12th house, the 12th bhava comes in play here. You know, your holy grail for this week is for you to take a deep breath, look at what you have achieved, stop the daydreaming and letting your emotions overflow, control it, because the Six of Wands and the Three of Cups tells you that there is security in your future. There is security based on the choices that you are making from the past that are affecting you in the present, that will take you into the future successfully. Okay, recall that the Eight of Cups jumped out at me when I was shuffling the pack. And I'm going to use the Eight of Cups as a premise of the entire reading which we just went through. And here again we had this last week, that we sit there contemplating and looking forward at the rocky mountains and the narrow path, and we are sitting there with our back hunched and our heads kind of bowed, and we are not seeing that our cups are filled. The 8 cups are there filled, nothing is lost, you know. Let us learn from our mistakes in the past and stand up to the present and the future. Let us make the choices that will not have us bent and in isolation. The 12th house is about isolation. So do we want to be in isolation? Are the choices we're going to make put us in isolation? We have the resources to take us out of that. So why have we turned our backs, or why are we not seeing it? Why are we overcome by emotion and not the intellect that is there with the King of Swords, you know, or the King of Pentacles? Let us use the 8 of Cups to tell us that, you know, the choices are there, and make the right choice for you. If you want to be in isolation, then so be it. If you want to be a loner, fine. If you want to sit on your resources and not have them grow or utilized in any way to develop you or your business or your partner or your relationship, then that's fine. That is your choice. But you know, you have the resources, you have the things there that you can depend on to move forward into the future. That is what the 8 of Cups is telling us here. The Artist and the Well are 2 cards that the Illumination card deck ethereal divisions use, and it's an illuminated tarot deck that gives us these 2 extra cards, the Artist and the Well. And the Artist is really all about, it's a vessel of creation. It shows you when to open yourself to the knowledge that is available, and for you to set aside the distractions that are there. So the gossip for you here is a distraction. You know, the emotions may be a distraction. So that set aside those things and create. The artist wants to create. Look at what is around you, look at what is in you, sift out what you need and what you don't need, or what you can utilize later, and use the artist to create. The Well is a birthplace of ideas, inspiration and transformation, and all things are birthed from this, and knowledge flows freely to those who seek it. So that the knowledge is there, and if you seek it, you're going to get it to transform. So these cards are well aligned with the reading for this week, beginning September 23 to 29. It's just that we have to listen or we have to learn. And that is the message that the Artist, the Well, and the 8 of Cups is giving you as an extra for this week. And these cards just encapsulate, you know, what we have gone through in the reading so far in the 12th house, you know, that keep your involvement hidden because of the isolation. Do you want to keep it hidden? The 8 of Cups just showed us that you have turned your backs on certain things, on certain issues. You want to remain in isolation and hiding. Neptune is hidden under the sea, you know, where you can't see. You have to dive into it before you can see it. You have to involve yourself, but you don't seem to want to involve yourself. The 12th house is all about isolation. Water, emotion, the ocean, sea, hidden things, you know, flow of emotions, overwhelming emotions at times, gossip, people talking around you, people talking about you and to you, gossip, and you know, it affects your heart, you feel hurt. Or is it that you are the gossiper? Which is it for you? You know, we've gone through these cards in the reading, and the analysis is there for you to understand how these cards came about and why they came about this week. Subhadra Devi is telling us, as the bestower of devotion, with prayer and through our spiritual advisors, we can have the illusions in front of us removed, so that we can see clearly and think clearly and feel clearly. So, you know, she is bestowing devotion on us, she's bestowing peace on us, she is bestowing that clarity of sight for us, so that let us utilize the energy of Subhadra Devi as the worldly power and grace, and she also brings a blessing because of her devotion to Lord Krishna. So let us utilize the devotion that is coming our way from Subhadra Devi, and let us seek answers through prayer. You know, Neptune is there to inspire others, and we have to sacrifice. And Neptune is talking about sacrifice, and sacrifice is the 12th house. You know, what are you sacrificing to gain that transformation? What are you losing to be able to identify and inspire others with? What is the way that we have to yield? Is that the only way, or can we create a partnership? You know, can we create a partnership with our spiritual guru or our advisor, or do we just stand on our own and pray, asking Subhadra Devi to surround us with her energies, to bestow devotion on us so that we can remove the illusionary sight that we have, or the illusionary feelings that we may have? Utilize the energies of these cards to understand the message and utilize and to make them work for you. The end of the week transit of Graha shows us that we have two changes. Mercury has gone retrograde in Libra, and Jupiter has reverted to Capricorn, has moved from Aquarius to Capricorn to join Saturn. But Jupiter is not really close to Saturn. Saturn is at 13 degrees Capricorn, while Jupiter is at 29 degrees Capricorn. So there is some distance between them. It's not a full conjunction, but they will reflect each other. And remember, Jupiter is debilitated or weak in Capricorn, and Jupiter here is retrograde. So again, Jupiter is now saying, you know, I'm tired giving you advice and you haven't taken the advice. I am tired of trying to guide you or expand your knowledge and your physical being, and you have not taken it. I'm giving you a choice again. I'm giving you that chance to help yourself, to do over, as it were, and to understand that you are getting second chances. You are getting second chances from Jupiter. And I'm joining the Lord of Karma, which is Saturn, to make you do that work and to bend that arrow so that when I come directly at you, you are prepared, you know. So this retrograde is going to last for a couple months, and it's going to be there, but it is going to slow you down. It's going to make you do things over and over, because this is what the second chance is all about. Mercury though is in retrograde, and when Mercury is retrograde, communication gets blurred. So at the end of the week, you know, try to do all your communicating and messaging before the end of the week of 23rd to the 29th of September, so that, you know, there wouldn't be any misunderstandings or miscommunications, or you wouldn't need to clarify over and over again what you really meant, or what you said you didn't mean to say it. And remember I said Mercury is Vargotama. It's in Libra Chitra Pada 3, and the Pada 3 is a Vargotama Pada, and Vargotama really means that it will give you strength or extra blessings, or it's a good placement. But Mercury now is retrograde at the end, so that it's a good placement, but in which way? Because you have misunderstandings, you have you don't have clarity, so be very careful of communications at the end of the week, because you don't want it to put you in a position where you have to re-say or redo, as Saturn and Jupiter is also retrograde, and Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn. Jupiter is weak in Capricorn, so the wisdom and intelligence and guidance may not be fully there for you at the end of the week to communicate properly. So just keep that in mind. And the week is all round, though the week looks good for you and it looks good for everybody, but again, it all depends on your kundali, your chart, because the houses affected here are Virgo, Libra, Capricorn, and remember we had Neptune as a card, Aquarius. So what are these houses for you? And Saturn in Capricorn and Neptune in Aquarius, and then we have Libra and Virgo here are the 4 houses that we are targeting. Any one of these houses, the 12th house for you. You know, what does your chart say for you? Where is your ascendant? uh, are you going to be affected by a 12th house impact or impasse here for this week based on the placement or the transit of the grahas? Request your report. As always, I thank Bhagwan with his blessings to bring me to the end of this presentation to you, of sharing my knowledge, of giving me the knowledge to share, and you know, the explanations and added details. I am very pleased that, you know, we can get through this together, and I hope that you stay well and stay healthy and happy until the next time. Bye.